Hi guys, this is Erica Weston with Fox Sports Midwest, and you're listening to my favorite St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio.
Welcome to Season 8, Episode 41 of Let's Go Blues Radio, the often imitated, never duplicated, the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast. We are broadcasting live on Tuesday, November 26th, 2019. This is Franch Ice episode number 227. It's the Miri episode. 227, get it? Yeah, in the 80s? Okay. Might be before Ponder's time. Your hosts tonight are yours truly, Kurt Price, Jeff Ponder, and Bill Day. And for your listening pleasure, we'll be with you for the next little while talking Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues hockey. To interact with the show on social media, you can follow the show on Twitter at LGB Radio. My handle is at Kurt Price, Bill's is at Billy Blue Note, and Jeff's is at JPonder94. You can also follow us on Instagram, like us on the Facebook, and our YouTube channel is out there. Check it out. The website is letsgoblues.com, where you can listen or watch past episodes, browse the discussion forum, as well as get some cool t-shirts, mugs, and stickers. And for those of you watching on the live show on YouTube right now, feel free to comment in the live chat below, and we will get to them as we can. If you enjoy the show, please... if you wouldn't mind leaving us a review on iTunes, we would greatly appreciate it. Hopefully good, but we do welcome all reviews. We can make fun of the bad ones and appreciate the good ones. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. A couple days early.
Oh, how are you now?
Happy American Thanksgiving to you.
Good, how are you?
Month late for Canadian Thanksgiving.
Sure.
Oh, not so bad.
Yeah, but
Not so bad. Good, and you?
yeah. So Thanksgiving, what are you guys doing?
Going to my parents' house and having some turkey and none of that stinking green bean casserole.
It's a bad
Yeah,
take
I'll
already.
tell your mom to make sure to wake me up when you get there.
You just had that one waiting.
Ooh, yeah, I did.
Just had that waiting.
I set myself up for that one on purpose.
We actually, speaking of Thanksgiving, what are you guys doing?
We've got the two families, which is we don't do that on Christmas anymore, thank God. But Thanksgiving, we still do the wife's family in the morning and afternoon, and then evening with my family. So it's one's in South County, one's in St. Charles. It's a hike. We have to stop in between to let my dog out. So yeah, it's always a hectic day. But Christmas, it's Christmas Eve and then Christmas, which is way better. So it's hectic, but, you know, have a good time. We see a lot of the family we don't see a lot throughout the year.
You eating on Thanksgiving?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So we'll watch the dog show.
Dog show.
And
Dog show.
Yeah. Dog show.
Are
Watch
you
the
now?
dog show.
Is that what you're doing?
Is that what you appreciate about me? We'll head down.
Take it back about 5%.
Head down to Julie's parents and have an always amazing, overdoing it Thanksgiving meal, and then do the dishes, pass out on the couch while the Cowboys are on the television. Not that I have any allegiance to any football team, but that household has an allegiance to the Cowboys, so have to watch.
Gross.
Yeah, that's what I said. But
Yeah, football always seems to be a staple of my family too. It's funny because once my dad passed, my mom was like, "Well, we're not going to watch football anymore on Thanksgiving anymore, right?" And we're like, "No, we're still going to have it on." No
What
idea
else?
why. None of us are huge football fans, but that just seems to be what we do.
What else are you gonna watch?
What are they? Should like Frosty the Snowman or something, or is that Christmas?
Yeah.
That is a Christmas Christmas one.
I know it was a
Planes-
Christmas movie, but I
Right.
don't know if they didn't. Don't they play it on Thanksgiving?
I think Home Alone's played.
Okay.
And I think Planes, Trains, Automobiles is played.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's a
Classic.
great flick.
Yeah.
I have to watch that one tomorrow night.
Speaking of seasonal movies, I was kind of upset the Christmas Story was on TV the other night. It was Christmas, Christmas Vacation and Christmas Story back to back.
Already?
Yeah,
That's
too
amazing.
soon. Love both of those movies. We'll watch the hell out of them.
See, this
when
is the
it's
one
Christmas.
year. This is the one year where that kind of stuff isn't bothering me. Like our neighbors have their Christmas lights up, and it used to bother me, but I don't think it is this year just because Thanksgiving's so late. So I don't know. I guess I've just kind of taken a back seat to being angry about it this year.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I've just gotten pragmatic about it this year. I put up the lights this year. This is the first time before Thanksgiving that I've ever had the lights up. I didn't plug them in, but I put them up because it's.
I will say that
it's not
60-degree
gonna
day,
rain.
I almost
Yeah.
did the same thing.
That's not a bad idea. I usually put mine up like the weekend after Thanksgiving. I shoot for that.
That's typically what we do. I was like, we're not going to have a decent weather the next couple of weeks. And so
I
unlike the people behind me, they turn their lights on. We flip them off every time we go outside.
just a bunch of Grinches. We had a speaking of Thanksgiving, I asked Twitter, Blues Twitter, is there a side item that you just fucking can't stand every Thanksgiving? It's like you see it on the table and you're like, fucking disgusting. You have one of those?
Well, the nice thing is everywhere I go, we've pared it down to just the stuff we like. But it used to be yams.
Yams.
Yes, yams for me too. That's what I was going to say.
I'm
Never been a fan.
green bean casserole for me. It's not a.
I'm not a stuffing guy either.
For me it depends on how the stuffing's made.
Yeah,
Yeah?
It's
If it's inside the bird, no.
yeah.
If it's done like in a pan in the oven, that's fine.
Yeah, we have. Typically, it's been both oven baked, a nice sausage stuffing, and then just regular stovetop for the picky people in the world. But yeah, nothing that's actually inside the bird, because that's just gross.
Southside Country Club on Twitter responded to the discussion and said oyster dressing. There's like a shit he can't stand oyster dressing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've never
I've
heard of
never
it.
had that.
It sounds
Yeah.
disgusting.
Not a fan already.
No, I'm either.
So let's get to the YouTube chat here. Crappy Goalie, friend of the show, says, I used to like Kurt until he badmouthed green bean casserole. I have to agree. I love green bean casserole. What's your problem with it?
I'm not saying everyone should hate it. I'm saying I don't like it.
I
And
don't-
I'm a
why,
little
though?
offended
Is it a
that you're
texture
trying to tell me
thing?
what I can't like.
I'm just asking. Is it a texture thing? Is it a taste thing? What is it?
It's a texture thing. I like green beans. It's just a texture thing. Not a fan.
Huh.
Have you ever had it with bacon in it?
I like green beans and bacon together.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think I've had
Kurt,
it.
your opinion is wrong, and that's a fact.
Well, I don't know about that. That's a okay. I'm gonna go ahead and mute Jeff for the rest of the show right over there.
I think you guys would have a much better show if you did that every week.
Cranberry sauce was a big one.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate that stuff.
like that
Yeah, I mean,
Old
Mr.
Jack-
Blues Hat tweeted
Yeah,
that.
he did too.
When it comes out the shape of the can.
My daughter loves it.
Yeah.
I don't. Some people like it. I don't either. Old Jack Falstaff said cranberry sauce. Scott N said turkey. He has a poultry allergy, so that's got to suck for him.
Oh, that does. Yeah, and so this is the crazy thing. Usually, anytime around Thanksgiving, I avoid turkey. Went to Fire and Smoke on Saturday night.
Yeah, turkey.
Turkey sandwich.
Ah,
You know what I had for dinner tonight?
turkey.
Turkey bacon sandwich.
What are you, Adam Sandler?
Apparently.
Oh, apparently. You Brian Regan now? Oh, apparently.
A couple more things from the YouTube chat here. Alabama Blues fan, 100% agree on green bean casserole. Terrible. he
Thank
says.
you.
Scuba, our friend Scuba, jumps in and says, oyster casserole is good, sort of Asian flavors in it, and then adds, well, favorite word of the women listening to the show, makes it real moist.
What was that? Moist, you say?
Moist is the word, yes.
Moist. I think of the Letterkenny.
Letterkenny.
The Letterkenny.
That's a
bit.
great episode.
Yeah.
One of the best ones.
Yep.
Bob Bukowski says green beans shouldn't be in a creamy sauce. They're already mushy. Bradley Stuyvesant says canned cranberry sauce is just Jell-O.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna. Well, okay. Sometimes green beans can be mushy. That's what they're overcooked though if they're mushy.
Yeah.
You get fresh green beans. They should almost have like a snap to them.
Yep.
Cooked canned green beans. You cook them right. They're not mushy. They're firm, but they're not snappy. Not mushy. You eat mushy vegetables. They're overcooked, and all the vegetables and benefits are gone. So it's like eating nothing.
Yeah.
It's like eating celery. You know? The canned cranberry sauce is just Jell-O. That's not. I don't think that's true, is it? I mean, it's not. Nah, it's more of a. It looks like Jell-O.
Right. It's
But
just gross.
That's not as sweet as Jell-O at all.
Yeah, it's just gross. Let's just call it what it is.
Lachlan Runa said, "Thanks, Jeff, for ignoring my comment."
Yeah, I'm getting to it. I was talking about Thanksgiving food first. We were going to talk about that. He completely changed the subject.
Well,
which we all seem to do all the time.
Yeah, and a couple more things in the YouTube chat here. Brian Roberts says, "I like cranberry sauce." Probably because it's all he had growing up. It's a guilty comfort food. And Raise That Banner says, put a gif of pumpkin pie. So I guess he's not a fan of the pumpkin pie. Which
Is on Twitter?
Yeah.
You're saying on Twitter, right?
Twitter.
Oh, you said YouTube chat. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
pumpkin pie. Yeah. The texture. I like pumpkin beer.
Yeah.
I like pumpkin lattes. I like pumpkin other things, but pumpkin pie, the texture of pumpkin pie is repulsive to me.
My daughter likes pumpkin pie, too.
I love pumpkin pie.
If I have pumpkin pie, it's got to have a shit ton of whipped cream on top.
Yeah.
Whipped cream. Just give me a whipped cream pie.
A coconut cream, man. That's my deal.
Oh, my wife loves that stuff.
Coconut
That's good
cream
stuff.
pie is delicious. So, Puck Guy 14. Hey, Puck Guy 14 from Tealtown.
That's Eric, correct?
Yeah, Tealtown Podcast.
What's up, buddy?
Welcome,
Happy
guy.
Thanksgiving to you guys in San Jose.
Yeah, you guys should get to Thanksgiving a couple hours after we do. Puck, he says, Puck Mom's pumpkin cake with cream cheese frosting. That sounds good.
That sounds good.
That
It
does
does.
sound good.
It's
All right,
cake
I'll be there
texture.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Cake texture.
Send me
Much
your
different
address.
than
I'll be there.
pumpkin pie texture.
Yeah. Well, let's bet on the next Blues and Sharks game, and if Blues win, then Puck Guy 14 has to send us one of his mom's pumpkin cakes with cream cheese frosting.
Are you got Scuba's jumping in here? Creme fraiche. Do you guys know the reference?
Creme fraiche?
Creme fraiche.
Oh yes. What is that from? Gordon Ramsay
Randy
says a
Marsh.
lot. Randy Marsh.
Yeah. South
Randy
Park.
Marsh. South Park.
Yeah, okay. I've heard it.
Yep.
I'm not a huge South Park watcher anymore.
Yep.
Crappy goalie. Hate cranberry sauce of any kind. And Puck Guy 14. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. All the best to Blues fans. Oh, he's a nice guy.
You know, I always liked that Eric. It's the other ones I didn't enjoy.
He's a nice guy.
That AJ guy, no.
He's just Eric's a nice guy, and he knows his way around the photoshops.
He does.
So I can appreciate him for that. I'm a Photoshop guy myself.
Is that what you appreciates about
That's
him?
what I appreciate about him.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. and while we're on the subject, I can pull the YouTube. There we go.
Oh
See that?
yeah, there you go.
Well,
Those of you in the YouTube or not watching on the YouTubes, that would be Mr. Kurt Price standing up and showing his Letterkenny Irish T-shirt. Mm-hmm. Very nice, sir. Very nice.
Although I don't understand why you would go for the whale shit club that folded as opposed to the Shamrockettes.
The Shamrockettes.
Shamrockettes,
back
baby.
to back to back.
I know, right? Mm-hmm. Three Pete's.
God, can't believe we missed that at trivia.
Dirty fucking dangles.
Well, let's before Scuba has an aneurysm here. Let's get to his. No, actually, it wasn't Scuba. It was Lachlan ruined it. Before he has an aneurysm, let's get to his comment here. Jeff, I love the beanie, and happy early Thanksgiving, fellas. Sarah says, howdy, boys. Ponder, you're never taking that hat off, are you? Maybe I should have picked up two. So, yes, anyone watching on the YouTubes sees that I'm wearing a leukemia, hockey fights cancer, Blues hat, which was picked up for me by listener of the show, Sarah. So, Sarah, thank you very much again. It looks great, it feels great, and it is not coming off my head all winter. So,
I like
means
how
a lot. Thank you.
I like how you've rotated the Blue Note to face the camera.
Yes, I always wear it on the other side, and then I put it on. I'm like, oh, no, I got to move it around.
Yeah. So it's almost like the iPhone in a bear with me, in a sense where you always got to see the logo. So you get the iPhone cases, and there's always a hole cut out in the back of the case so you can see the logo through the case. You know, it's always like got to show people what you got, right?
That's right. Well, if I didn't have this hat on, I would, or if I didn't have the Blue Note showing, people would be like, why the hell is he wearing a beanie for a podcast?
It's fine. It's probably you have cold house.
And
Not really. Actually, my head's already getting kind of hot.
I'm kind of offended that we're calling it a beanie.
Yeah,
on
it's a
hockey
toque.
podcast.
It's a toque.
It's a toque.
It's toque.
I guess a toque, yeah. Makes sense.
Speaking of Canadian things, official beers of episode 227. Bill.
I didn't even tweet it out, but it's Founders Sumatra Underground Sumatra Brown. Second time I've had it.
I like that name.
It was one of the barrel aged series this year, as I'm going through, try to keep one of each of those in my cellar collection, and so I had one extra. Decided tonight was the night for it. Really looking forward to the next one that they're coming out with. It's Espresso KBS, so I'll be all over that.
I assume there's no boycott from Bill towards Founders after the announcement that they're not going to carry CBS anymore.
No, I get it.
Okay.
It's a supply issue. And I feel like for one, there's too many barrel aged beers flooding the market now. Everybody's got a barrel age.
That's true.
And not everything is worthy of it.
First of all, though, if you're gonna say something's flooding the market,
CBS is.
let's not kid ourselves. IPAs are flooding the market. If you're going to say there's too much of anything, there's too many IPAs. Everyone's got half a dozen IPAs that they're rolling out on tap.
I'd say too many IPAs, too many Blues hockey podcasts.
Which are there more of? Four Hands IPAs or Blues podcasts? There's like 137 Blues podcasts. Every week I see someone new come up with a new one.
Maybe that's our tagline going forward. The barrel aged stout of Blues podcasts.
I mean, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to sound cocky here by any means, but I really with the influx of all these Blues podcasts the past couple of years, and especially this year. I'm just really glad we got in. We've been like doing this for a long time, and we're not like just all of a sudden doing it. I'm glad we were here first. I'm glad we were just like, we're not copying anybody. We're doing our own thing. We're just. I'm glad that it was. We had the idea because there was nothing out there. You know what I mean?
Right. Trendsetters.
We're not following anybody or not going after anybody else. I liked being the first people on the boat. So
yeah, I mean, that's why we started this podcast, was we wanted more Blues coverage, and we're getting it now. Now we're getting it more than ever. So yeah, it's funny because we have a chat that we talk on every week, all week, and one of us will always post, "Hey, new Blues podcast." We'll post a link, and I think Kurt, the last one you just posted, you were like, "Yeah, I think that's the 137th now."
There's a lot of them.
Yep. And it's all well and good as long as you're putting out original and good content, right? That's the point.
That's what I said. I said, if you're going to do a Blues podcast, go for it. It's fun. But I would recommend to people, if they're going to do one, to make it your own. Don't just regurgitate what other people are doing. Do something different. Do something cool. You're sitting on a microphone. The internet's at your fingertips. You're broadcasting on the web. It doesn't cost a lot to do it. Do something cool. Do something no one's done yet. Do something we haven't thought of. Do something, it'd be kind of neat to see what other people come up with. And I think when we go online and listen to these other shows, if you're doing the same thing, if you're saying the same things you can hear on the 5 o'clock news, on a box score. I was reading a box score, and I was like, okay, that's fine and all. If you like doing it, that's fine. But, what's to separate yourself from somebody else? That's what I'm saying. Just make yourself different, unique.
Yeah, and trust me, I'm constantly listening to other blues podcasts, trying to get on with somebody else, and I just haven't found one that I like better than Let's Go Blues Radio.
And we've been waiting for somebody to take him, and just nobody will.
I won't go away.
We're willing to sign the exclusive
buyout.
The non-exclusive rights contracts, and yeah.
My buyout is very, very cheap. It's like $3 to Friar Tuck. That is my buyout.
And one of Puckeye 14's mom's pies or cakes.
Well, now that Sarah got Jeff the hat, that's half of it too.
Yeah. Well, guys, it was a good run. I'll see you later.
Light, sound, geometry, analog, electronic, scuba says you guys filled a void. And he also says that similar to the game day paper, meaning unique and different and funny. Yeah, and they do a good job as far as doing their own thing.
That is just a side note, that is the second time that the game day paper has come up for me today. Someone I randomly was talking with is a former editor back in Game Night Review days, and we sat and talked. I don't want to release any names, but we sat and talked for, about an hour just talking about game day and how great their coverage is and how far they've come. So it's just interesting when I see that come up, and it's just randomly you'll meet people, and I know you guys have too, that maybe listen to the podcast in the St. Louis area that just, oh, hey, yeah, you're that podcast, or hey, you're that guy that wrote about the game day paper that one time. It's funny how these little fan-run things have just gotten to be kind of part of blues culture.
Right. I think it's pretty awesome that Game Time got shout out in last year's NHL game. Right? Doc Emmerich.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They had a little take
That was
on
cool.
So that's our goal. We're getting in shell.
Well,
One day.
Let's Go Blues.com was featured on Fox Sports Midwest on I think it was a Blues Blackhawks broadcast on a Saturday night, in between the first and second period and the second and third period. They pulled snippets from the forum. They asked a question, and we posted it in the forum, and they pulled responses and talked about it in between periods and mentioned the site. That was pretty cool.
Such a huge hit. It broke all the traffic. They could ask you back.
Right, exactly. And they've never once mentioned us since.
A record high 4 people visited the site that night.
Right. Today in Blues history, courtesy of
Hang on, I didn't do my beer, buddy.
Oh
yeah.
I didn't do mine either.
Jumping ahead.
Yeah, I just
Jumping
assumed
ahead.
we were done. We've been talking about this so long.
All right, well, let's roll through this rather quickly then. I will go do mine real king. The Southern Tier Pumpkin. Again, not a I always camera 2, camera 3. Okay. Southern Tier Pumpkin. It's Imperial Pumpkin Ale. I believe they're based in Pittsburgh. Bill, you may know better than me. I can't remember. Something like that. Somewhere not in
They're
St. Louis.
east.
Yeah.
Very so- either
But
Pennsylvania
this,
or
I've
New
always said, there's only 2 pumpkin beers that I really enjoy, and obviously the one that we talk about all the time, the O'Fallon one, and then this one, Pumpkin. It's 8.6 alcohol, the volume percentage, and I can't talk apparently. Do we brew with magic? Taste and see. Pumpkin's complex, luscious, pie-like notes make this an unworldly ale. One sip and you'll know why Pumpkin has worn the crown since 2007. Long live the king.
Lakewood,
And
New York.
we also should mention Lackland Ruined It, which I have some of these in my fridge. I almost grabbed one just to be funny. He says he's got a White Claw tonight.
I've had one White Claw in my life. I'm not a
My
fan.
wife loves them. It is a
Yeah.
white girl drink for sure.
Is okay.
I had it
White
at
girl
softball.
drunk, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not. I mean, I get it. It's popular. Mine is, and I should have brought down some chocolate or something to pair with this. Bill brought over last week some the peanut butter chocolate milk stout from Four Hands, The Absence of Light. the canned variety this year, which I think is the first year they've had cans. Last year they had bottles, the big bottles. This year, it's about time because
Hold that up. I haven't seen the can.
where's the camera? There it is.
Camera 3.
Camera 3.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so it's I like this. This is I've said this a lot of times. This is my go-to fall beer. If it's on tap when I'm out, I get it usually. So
Except for Friday.
except for Friday. Oh yeah, Friday, right? Oh man, at Global Brew last week I had a peanut butter porter, and I forgot who made it, but it's at Global Brew right now. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really really good. Just saying. If it's still there on Friday, I'll point it out to you, and you can maybe get it next time or something.
Yeah.
It's good.
I don't know. I am going to be looking for a bar tomorrow afternoon. Rumor has it we're getting a little early dismissal, and there's a Liverpool game at 2:00.
So in
So
Amsterdam?
possibly. It's about 15 minutes from work at most. So.
You know, okay. So we will probably have early dismissal as well. We have before every Thanksgiving break and Christmas break. We got it at 2 usually. So assuming unless something bucks the trend tomorrow, 15 straight years. I mean, we haven't. So if you want company, maybe
Yeah.
I'll hangs with you if you're going out there to watch a game.
Yeah, I'm
Because I'll be in St. Louis tomorrow night anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
We'll
We-
slack about it.
Yeah, we won't invite Ponder though.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm off the show anyway. This is my last episode.
Speaking of that peanut butter milk stout, I'm gonna grab one.
You go right ahead. You go right ahead, sir. You did purchase them and bring them over. You can have up to 2. Today in Blues history, courtesy of the @STL Blues History Tour account, November 26th. Actually today, rest in peace to former St. Louis Blues player Bill McCurry. Bill led the first Blues team in shorthanded goals and scored the first shorthanded goal in Blues history. Also led 70-71 in shorthanded goals, I guess. Blues head coach for a short time. Fired on Christmas. I heard that story before. That was a dick. Who did that? Was it? It was it Ornest.
Yeah.
Ornest fired.
That had
Yeah.
to be Ornest. Yeah.
The carpetbagger. And he was their first director of computer scouting in 72-73. McCurry played for the Rangers, Red Wings, Canadians, Blues, and coached the Canucks. A brother to Keith and father to Bill, who officiated in the NHL.
The mustache.
The mustachio, yeah. McCurry coached. He ref for a long time.
Yeah, he did.
That was like one of the guys. Him and Koharski, a couple other
Terry
and,
Gregson.
and
Frazier.
and who was the guy that was
Magoo.
Magoo, yeah. Who's the guy?
Van Massenhoven.
Van Massenhoven.
Former Ontario provincial policeman.
Who was the one who was reffing the game where Blues swept and Belfour broke his stick and threw it at him?
Rob Schick.
Schick. Yes, Rob Schick.
Schick. Yeah.
Rob Schick. Which, yes, Belfour did throw his stick at Schick. I was at the game. I saw it. The TV angle, the camera cuts away right before he does it.
Yeah.
So, let's see. November 26, 1985, St. Louis Blues beat Toronto Maple Leafs 5-1. Federico got his 500th assist. Mark Hunter, which I'm sure that St. STL Blues history was drooling over this. He's a big Mark Hunter fan. Had a hat trick in this game. Had a Gordie Howe hat trick. First Blues player with an even strength goal, power play goal, and a shorthanded goal in the same game. And the second Blues player with a hat trick and a Gordie Howe hat trick in the same game. So a notable game for Mr. Mark Hunter. Mr. Broomball Helmet, Mark Hunter.
Yeah, Mr. Broomball Helmet, and the owner and general manager and coach of the London Knights, the OHL, produced Robert Thomas, among others.
And Cairo.
No, he was starting his thing.
Right.
Thank you for that tidbit of information, Pierre.
Maybe I was going to say, thank you, Mr. McGuire. November 26, 1983, the Orness, speaking of which, we just mentioned them earlier, owners of the St. Louis Blues discussed changing both, and this, me being a graphics guy, logo guy, graphic artist, this story always just infuriates me so much. It discusses the changing both the logo and the color scheme of the Blues jersey, again, 1983. Thank goodness the silver color was not available for production. And that's the reason why this jersey was not produced, because they couldn't get the silver available for production.
God.
The picture at STL Blues History is the Twitter account. Give him a look, and he's got the picture and a little snippet from the news article here. It's an awful, awful, awful design. Designed by Harry Orness' wife, Ruth, who was not a graphic artist. The article says, Orness and his wife, Ruth, are proceeding with plans to change the Blues uniforms for next season from the predominantly blue and yellow to predominantly blue and silver. Test uniforms have been ordered, Orness said. A change in the logo on the front of the sweater is planned too. A design is in the works that will incorporate the present blue note with the arch and the word blues. And the one they have they shown, the prototype, is exactly what it is. It's a blues with an arch and a blue note, and it's just like, it's awful.
Look,
looks like
it's off. It's bad. But I will say, I really think that if you handed that to a graphic designer, a graphic artist, and you said, make this look good, I think there's something there to make it look okay. The blues, the name blues across the arch in the same color, there needs to be some kind of shadow there to offset that. The fact there's yellow in the collar and there's yellow nowhere else in the jersey, that needs to be fixed. But I really believe for an 80s jersey, it's like they started designing something and then just stopped midway through. I think there is something there. It's just to give them a little credit.
It looks like a
It looks
jersey
incomplete.
that was designed by somebody who doesn't know how to design things.
To me, it looks like an Anheuser-Busch sponsored game day giveaway.
I mean, I really think that this is like you kind of going along with what Kurt said, that if you were to take that jersey and hand it to a jersey designer and say, here's what I'm thinking, what are your thoughts? And then
No.
they would go in and make it look better.
First off, you remove the name the Blues completely. It doesn't. We had the Blues with the arched over the note for a while, and
that's what actually came
yeah,
from this, right?
which is better. But that didn't work either. I mean, it worked, but it wasn't a good jersey. It was
right. It's probably the least popular outside of the clown jersey. But the clown jersey has a nascent following here, which is bullshit. But
it's yeah.
I don't know. So we didn't really talk about that, right? Because that was last week, right?
Oh
So
no, we did because
Yeah.
we talked about it coming up. We didn't actually talk about it.
Right. So I'll just give you my take. Like, just watching the game, there were parts of me that was like really feeding that nostalgia. Like, oh, this is fun, but like, God, that's so fucking ugly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, I liked that it brought back the memories of that era and that team. You know, that especially the team that got knocked out by Detroit and the Eisman goal, like that. It was just that was really the first time in my life I had belief that a team here could do it, and I had a very strong emotional attachment to it. So, like, seeing those jerseys kind of brought it back. But then when Zach Sanford was the star of the game, and I don't know if you guys caught the reference, but when I messaged you guys, I think Ponder said something about, you know, wow, I
Sanford listens to the show.
Yeah.
Kramnov.
Yeah, I said he looks more like Vitalik Kramnov than Dale Howardchuk.
Yeah, I
Love it. Good reference, sir.
I kept seeing Shen and thinking Jim Campbell or Tikkanen, you know, because they both wore that jersey.
Yep.
And I'm like, I kept, 19, you see Shanahan or whoever the hell. It was so weird because it was cool in a sense where it kind of took me back. and it felt like I was watching a game, like you said, from 1996, 97. Because I kept thinking, oh God, that's Tikkanen, that's Glenn Anderson, that's
Why is Stephen Leach playing the point?
That was fun. I'll admit, like that part of it, going
Yes.
on Twitter and like referencing old players with other Blues fans, that was a lot of fun. You mentioned Stephen Leach. That was one of the first ones that popped in my head, which I thought was weird. I'm like, there has to be another 27, right? And that's the only one that came to mind. And I had never looked it up. I don't know if there was another one in that jersey.
There was a French guy. God,
Who? 29?
27.
27.
27.
Yeah. Chasson. No. What
No,
was
that
his
wasn't a
name?
Chasson.
It's gonna be something.
Bill Parcells.
Denis Chassé. That's it.
Denis Chassé. You're right. That was a 27.
So we got
Damn. Nice job, sir.
This is what
I owe you an absent of light, sir.
Stephen Leach.
That's exactly
Chassé,
what mine does, too.
Dave Christian before that, Terry Yake after Leach. And I do
Terry
believe
Yake. Terry Yake didn't wear that jersey, though, did he?
98.
Yeah, the last year they
man,
had
I guess
it.
he did.
He did wear
Yeah,
it.
I guess he did. That's right. He played. They called him up, and he played in a line with Hull because there was like every center was injured in the game. I remember that.
Terry Yake always kicked ass for me on NHL 94.
As the Duck.
Oh, he was
As
great.
a duck, yeah.
Yeah.
The Duck.
It's
Yep.
fantastic.
I will say, and I said this on Twitter, the seeing those jerseys in HD was so odd.
Yeah.
It was so odd because you see it, you're just like, oh my god, like the red stands out even more in HD. It was so strange.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Nostalgia, and we've said this before, nostalgia is cool. I mean, bringing back memories is cool. Seeing the jerseys on TV and thinking of, oh gosh, I remember these games, these players, and that reminds me of this. That's cool. I get it. The throwback graphics on the screen, the broadcast presentation was cool. The jumbotron stuff was cool. Throwback to that jumbotron. It was neat. It's neat in small batches, like this game and a couple others are going to do it for. But do not
right.
kid yourself.
Right.
The jersey is a shitty design.
Right.
It is.
I think they're getting it right from that perspective, like giving you the
Sure,
small
no.
doses of
Yes,
it, right?
I get it. And
And-
Federico even said after the game, he goes, yes, they were fine for this game. He goes, there were a lot of people who hated these jerseys. I'm like, thank you for saying that on the air.
right.
Because all these 18, 19, 22-year-olds, they're like, they didn't go through the jersey the first time. People call it the best looking jersey ever.
Right, no.
I'm like, what are you fucking smoking?
This
is
there's
ridiculous.
Some weird nostalgia for the '90s that I'll never understand.
I get it. I mean, I get it. But let's not mistake. Bad design is bad design. Okay, it's a bad design. Now, if you're nostalgic for it and you want a jersey, that's great. That's fine. But let's call it what it is. It's not a good design.
Right. How many bad nicknames were there for that jersey? The clown jerseys, the McDonald's jerseys, the
Terrible.
Yeah, it's just
My favorite comment came from former Blue Jeff Brown. Did you guys see that on Twitter? Somebody, so we were all making references. We would see a number and say, oh, this player, out with Jay Bomeister, I was calling him Shanahan all night. Somebody, I don't remember, I think it was one of the news guys, said, oh yeah, 21, looks like Jeff Brown out there. And Jeff Brown, he was tagged in it. Jeff Brown retweeted with comment and said, thank God I never played in those hideous jerseys.
Yes.
And I'm like, good for you, Jeff Brown.
yep.
But I will say, listen, small doses, and somebody said it here, Puck Guy 14, small doses are the best. I will say, that game, surprisingly, I had a lot of fun watching that game. Now, granted, it's a 5-0 win. Maybe that's part of it. But I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed seeing the jerseys again because it did bring back those nostalgic memories. I do fear, though, that we're going to see those jerseys again, and I'm going to say, oh, okay, not as cool as the first time.
Right. No, it's a thing of diminishing returns. Although, I'll tell you, seeing Biddington in his setup, man.
His throwback mask, the Curtis Joseph tribute, which is awesome. And the second
That was fantastic.
tribute mask that Joseph had with the Blues, with Elliott doing the last one.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
If I ever need like a mental refresher or just a mental break, I will go onto Twitter. I have so many goalie follows on Twitter, and just go and look at goalie gear setups or old school goalie masks, and that I think needs to get into my rotation because that just absolutely perfect replica and just beautiful.
Puckeye 14 says, fun time seeing that jersey, but if you ever wanted to see a design for the Blues, let me know. I assume he means he would design one.
Yeah, he does that.
So,
yeah, that'd be.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've
give
seen-
us one, big guy. Let's see it.
Yeah. Be creative and make it not suck. Which
because
I like the Blues jerseys now a lot. Love them a lot. And
Yes,
the Winter Classic, the light blue, love that one too.
Yeah.
So they're set for jerseys now. But it'd be nice to see a little variant.
And I think,
what is it? The Rockies and the Diamondbacks that have like 6 different jerseys.
Yeah. God, and you want to talk about bad jerseys? The Stadium Series jerseys for the
Yes.
Kings and the Avalanche. Like, who thinks that that's good?
It's a nod to the future, Bill. That's the
God.
Stadium Series.
If that's the future, kill me now.
And I said this last week. I said I don't give a shit what the bad design is bad design, and those suck.
Yeah.
I don't. If the future is bad design, okay, the future is not bad design. That's not look to the future. If anything, people try and go kitschy, cool, or unique with these jerseys, but every single goddamn time, simpler is better with hockey
absolutely.
jerseys every
That's-
time.
That's what I was going to say. If you want to tie a nice little bow on this conversation and go back to where we started with this today in STL Blues history, the simpler and just compact, the more compact that a Blues jersey is, the more effective it is, the more beautiful it is. When you start incorporating the arch and silver and the red and yellow color, what's that?
Yeah, the
It's
yellow
so
is the yellow's
unbalanced.
odd, and the yellow is like Ponder said. The yellow on the collar and nowhere else is weird.
Yeah.
It should be silver if you're going blue and silver, but that's and the arch is a hard element to design, work into a design anyway.
Right. They got it right with the dark navy blue jerseys
Yeah,
that
was fine.
we wore for a few seasons.
Yeah, that was good. It was
But-
a solid design.
Right.
It wasn't earth shattering, but it was simple and clean and good.
Right.
I-
Right. It didn't
I
have
know our
weird
friend in-
angles or weird colors.
Our friend in the YouTube chat, Mr. Hotard, Hotard 12, he's going to yell at us if we don't get to this question sooner. Number 14 in those jerseys, go, Jeff Courtnall.
Yeah, Jeff Courtnall.
Come on, Jeff Courtnall. And he says something about an ugly logo behind Kurt. What ugly logo? Is he talking about the tin sign behind you?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the arch logo that we were just talking about,
yeah.
that was effective.
Yeah.
I like that logo. It's fine. I mean, it's
all right.
not as good as the single sole blue note,
Yeah.
but it worked. It's fine.
And along the same lines, since Hotard's commented a bunch here, he says Thursday was amazing, so he enjoyed that night as well. And then he also says Four Hands peanut butter jelly milk stout is amazing.
I want to try that, and I tomorrow when I'm in St. Louis, I may
You're
pick
gonna
one
stop
up.
by the
They've got the variant this year, the peanut butter and jelly,
Yeah.
which I do want to give that a shot. Why not?
It's a jelly.
It's a jelly.
Last one.
Lachlan ruined it. Says I'll keep you guys updated on the tornado watch.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's more southern Missouri, right? Tonight.
We're out of the. They took everything away from here.
Yeah.
I mean, this morning they were saying
It might
we're
rain.
bullseye.
Yeah, it might
Yeah.
rain, but
It's windy as fuck.
yeah.
Your yard's a mess.
I gotta cut my grass too. One more time before the winter, if it'll ever stop raining when I have time to cut it. Today's State and Blues history, 2014, November 26th. Jordan Binnington received his first NHL call-up by the St. Louis Blues, of course. He didn't play, obviously.
And we talked about this at the time, which shows you how long we've been around, folks. He never seemed like he got a fair chance, even when he was called up last year. It took them, remember, was it 14, 15 games in a row Allen started? And we were saying, just give Binnington a start because Allen's exhausted. It's clear.
Did he play in 14? He got called up. I know he came in relief a couple times.
His first was a relief appearance
Right.
against the Oilers.
Was that in 14?
A blowout game. I think it was the following year.
I think it was 15 or 16.
All right.
And I mean, he faced 3 shots and gave up a goal. It was
Breakaway.
lackluster.
The smallest of all sample sizes
Right.
that you can possibly get. Crappy goalie says, I think the Heritage Winter Classic look is the best in the NHL. I'm sure I'm in the minority. I don't think you're in the minority at all. I think that's a pretty common consensus that the Blues Heritage Winter Classic jersey is like the best. Well, if not the best, it's up there for discussion for the best in the NHL. It's fantastic.
No, it's great. And wasn't it voted the best jersey in the NHL just 2 years ago or so?
It might have been. I don't know if it's best in the NHL, best third jersey, maybe. I
think
know.
it was. Yeah, I think they ranked the third jerseys. I want to say maybe Penguins took first and Blues took second.
And the Penguin and the voting was probably just a fan base thing too.
Yeah. Well,
Could've
those Penguins baby blues are nice. I do like them.
I like them too. Yeah. Isn't that what the Penguins were wearing when Crosby got injured in the Winter Classic game?
No,
That sounds right.
That was no, because those were black and golds. That was the first Winter Classic game that they played in the snow globe game in Buffalo when Crosby scored the shootout winner.
Oh, okay, yeah. Those are the blue jerseys. Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
And then the third time they played was when they played in the ballerina costume. That was crazy. For those that haven't seen that, look that up.
I don't know if I want to.
We should probably get.
I don't want that in my search history.
Yeah.
You guys getting the? I don't have this in the outline, but you guys getting the Champions Bud Light bottles that were announced and gonna come out today? 30 bucks,
honestly,
$30 for 3 bottles.
No.
I'll probably have somebody will probably buy them for me, so I'll say yes, just because I know that's the easy gift for me.
I would receive them as a gift, no problem. I have a hard time spending $30 on 3 bottles of Bud Light, even though they look cool. They're cool looking bottles, but they've done this twice already now.
Right.
The Play Gloria bottles. Where are they? Over there. Where is it?
Somewhere back
somewhere.
there.
And there's they already have the 2019 Champs Bud Light bottles too. So this is like the third set of Blues championship bottles they're doing, and it's like, how many of these are you gonna do?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna have somebody buy them for me because, like our housewarming party, I didn't buy any of the champagne because everyone told me it was awful, and I was like, I got the Gloria bottles from Bud Light. I don't need those. I had 3 people bring them to our housewarming party. They're like, oh, these are for you, and I'm like, oh, great.
Fantastic. That's a lot of butts.
Thank you to those who did bring those, by the way. If you're listening.
Oh, Klim Kostin. Let's talk some Blues.
Who's that? Who?
Klim Kostin. He's an
insurance salesman?
telemarketer. Actually, calls my house all the time.
Okay. All right.
It's annoying. Sounds like a computer. Accent. After 4 games, Kostin was sent back down to San Antonio to make room for Troy Brouwer. Rutherford was on 101 ESPN Radio in St. Louis this afternoon, and they asked him about the decision to send Kostin down. His rationale. I thought this. Did you guys hear this today? The interview with Rutherford on 101.
Only when I read the outline.
I thought it was a terrible interview. It wasn't JR's doing. It was the questions that were asked. They asked him basically one thing, and then he was off the air. His they asked him about this, and so JR gave his rationale for the team sending him back down was that all the production out of the lineup due to injury, Brouwer sent Kostin down and plugged in Brouwer because he needs to know what he's going to get out of a player, like in the third period of a tight game. And so he has trust in sending Brouwer out there because he knows what he's going to get. And there was like no other questions.
Right, and yeah, when I read that, my reaction was, you get somebody who's too slow to backtrack?
I would have loved to have asked, not that he would have known, or maybe speculating it, and maybe that's his speculation on what the Blues are doing based on conversations he's had. I don't know if this is directly, what Berube and Armstrong are thinking. But I would have asked how Brouwer looked in his first game. I would have, because this was this morning, and talked to, because with the Blues, and ask a question about the Blues' lack of scoring and their offensive struggles lately, and sending a guy like Kostin down who could possibly generate some offense or some chances, more than Brouwer is likely to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. It's the Brouwer versus Kostin. It's split factions online. People are upset that Kostin was sent down because he looked. I thought he looked pretty good. I didn't have a problem with the way he played. I thought he generated a lot. Got his first goal in his last game before he was sent down. I think with the injuries the Blues have, I think it would have been nice to see Kostin a little more and give him more minutes per game. I think the narrative the Blues are kind of putting out there is like, well, we want to give him some. He needs to play 15 plus minutes a game, so he'll get that in San Antonio, which
Right.
I agree with. Great, play him. He needs to play a lot of minutes because he's young. But you could have tried to play him 12, 13 minutes up here. I mean, that's what Thomas is getting. That's what Sundqvist is getting. Blake got about that. You could give him those kind of minutes up
See,
here.
there's a part of me, and I hate to say this because we make fun of. I don't want to make fun, but we say that this isn't really the correct way of thinking. Well, this team won a championship. They can do no wrong for the next 5 years. But in all actuality, this was something we have bitched about with younger players for a long time with this franchise. Sammy
Totally
Blais.
agree.
I mean, Sammy Blais this year was finally given, okay, we're going to put you out there in top 6 minutes to see what you can do. And he thrived. What if they would have done that 2 years ago with him? Would it really have been crazy to just try him for a game or two in a top 6 role? Same thing with Jordan Kyrou. Put him out there for top 6 minutes, see what he can do. Don't just put him out there for 5 minutes. And we were saying this about Kostin. With injuries to Blade and Tarasenko and Steen, get him out there for top 6 minutes. Yeah, maybe first game you limit him to 7, 8 minutes, but ease him into those minutes, see what he can do full time. And it's like, and this is something that we've, like I said, we bitched about for so long because it seems like the rest of the NHL is willing to do this. Their young guys are stepping in. Guys like Matthew Tkachuk. I mean, I know Connor McDavid. These guys come with a little more accolades than maybe Klim Kostin did, but they stepped in with these young guys and said, we know they're not going to do anything if they're not getting big minutes. And so we're just going to give them big minutes. And if they falter, they falter. And we'll test them out in the AHL or wherever they need to go, juniors, and we'll bring them back next year and see what they can do. The Blues still have this old school mentality of, well, he's a young guy, he's got to earn his minutes.
Right.
That's not the NHL anymore. That's not how it goes anymore.
Right. And I agree with that completely. I'm not going to compare. I'm not going to say that Craig Berube is the same as Ken Hitchcock, because Ken Hitchcock would probably have never slotted Kostin into any line on this team. But that bias towards veteran players. I want Troy Brouwer because I know what he's going to give me in the third period of a game. When I watched Troy Brouwer play last night, there was one shift where I thought it was very noticeable because he was so fucking slow, and he couldn't even get like a quick, from down low back to the hash marks assignment. Like he was too slow to do it and got beaten 2 strides. And it's like, I'm going to give the guy the benefit of the doubt because he's earned some clout here in St. Louis with the goal against Chicago.
Sure.
But he's 3 years older than that now, and he hasn't played a whole lot. I don't know that breaking him in a game against Nashville and sending Kostin down after Kostin scored. I mean, I kind of get the idea. You dangle the carrot and the stick.
Sure.
Hey, kid, you scored. It was a good goal. Go down, show us you can do it a whole bunch, and we'll bring you back.
There's a philosophy there. I get it.
I get
but
it. I don't like it.
Where this team is right now,
Right.
with the injuries and the lack of scoring,
Right.
that's a
Let
hard
him-
pill to swallow.
It's it chafes all of us, I think, to know that they would not give him the same chance. He should have been the guy to replace Sammy Blais.
Yes.
Yes.
We said
Slot
that.
him into that position and let him
Yeah.
For
let him
2
give him his
games.
chance.
Just see what he does for 2 games.
You know, his first game up, he had 11:45 ice time, which I thought, wow, that was good.
Right.
That was pretty good. And then his second game, 6 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? And then next game, 9 minutes, and then his last game, 7 minutes. He never got close to 11:45 again.
Something we have bitched about, at least I've bitched about on the show, and I memory serves me correctly, I think Kurt has too, that we used to speculate back in the day of the Hitchcock days and even the Mike Yeo days that maybe Doug Armstrong's got his arms a little too much into the gears and maybe pulling the strings, because you see these kind of things and it's always this Hitchcock mentality, even though Hitchcock's been gone for a while. And so you wonder, well, maybe it's not a Hitchcock thing. Maybe it's an Armstrong thing. And as much as I hate to bitch about the guy because I've been singing his praises for the last 6 months, maybe this is something that relates to him. Maybe he's the one saying, don't play Kostin this much. We've got these veteran guys. Get them out there more. We need to see what they can do. We know what we get out of them. Let's get them in there. And again, it's an old school mentality that we saw probably even 5, 6, 7 years ago that has gone the way of the dodo bird. We're just not seeing that anymore. But for some reason, St. Louis is holding on to that mentality.
You saw the writing on the wall, though, with this coming out of training camp, because Kostin had a great camp, and he had a shot at making the club out of camp,
Right.
But he didn't, and Armstrong said this. He goes, "We don't want that much inexperience on our roster."
Right.
And I'm like, 98% of your roster just won the Stanley Cup.
Right.
How much experience do you think you need right now? I mean, there's something to be said for an influx of young talent, fresh legs. My God, you had a short off season.
Right.
I mean, why not roll him, keep him up? I mean, 4 games I was glad they called him up. Want to see him called.
Mm-hmm.
Then was not happy with the minutes. Kind of saw it coming. I was worried about that. And then he gets sent down. Would have loved to have seen him play, like I said, 12, 13 minutes. Get him that experience. How in the hell are you supposed to get this guy experience? If you don't want inexperience on this team, when do you play him? If you're not going to play him early in the season to get that experience, when the fuck are you going to play this guy to get him experience? Are you going to play him late in the season? Why would you do that? No, you can't play a guy late in the season because those are important games and the points are crucial. Fighting for playoff positioning. You could, if at any time during the season there's a time to play a guy a lot that's a young kid, it's now. It's early in the season, and specifically with this team, it's because we've got guys like Tarasenko that are on Blais, they're out, Steen too, that are it's gonna hurt the production offensively, and you got a guy who can generate some stuff.
Yeah, and that's Kurt, you hit the nail on the head earlier, and when you said that, that you've got so much experience on this team, that's not an issue for this roster anymore. You can't use that as, well, we got to get this guy who has experience in because we know what we're getting out of him. You've got an entire roster full of experienced players now. What more experience do you need than winning a fucking Stanley Cup? So let these guys that don't have experience come in and see what they can do with those experienced guys. Using that as a crutch to send a player down and not play him the top minutes that he needs in the NHL when you've got injuries, it doesn't make sense anymore for this team.
If he were hurting the team, or if he were a liability defensively, or just it was noticeably not quite there, I'd get, I get limiting the minutes and sending him down. I get it. But I mean, am I off base here? I mean, did you guys see something I didn't? I mean, I thought he looked pretty good.
No,
I mean,
great.
No, I think that Doug Armstrong has that inexperience quota or whatever it is, because on the
It's
flip side,
infuriating.
it is. But on the flip side to this, if the other side of the coin is that they put Robert Thomas on the top line with Shen and Schwartz, and they look fucking good.
Well, Thomas is fucking good.
Right.
I'm not saying Kostin's at Thomas's level.
No.
I'm not saying he is tearing it up. I'm saying he looked like he belonged in the NHL.
But if there's something in Armstrong's mind that says, if we're gonna have one young guy on the top line, we can't have another young guy on the second line. Like that mentality is infuriating. But, and we use this to transition into next part of the conversation. God damn, watching like the whole time I was watching that line last night. Like, can you imagine if they actually put Schwartz on the second line where he belongs and Tarasenko wasn't injured?
Oh man,
how goddamn good that top line would be.
You know what though?
If somebody could score,
It's a good thing we signed Brouwer, just because he was so noticeable last night. It's a good thing we sent Kostin down, who was noticeable and generated some chances, and it was you noticed him out there last night. Granted, I was at a bar watching. I wasn't at home where I can focus more closely on the game, but I'm watching intently at the Post Bar and Grill. You ever been there? Post Bar and Grill?
no.
It's a good place to watch a game. But anyway, so I'm there, and I'm halfway through the game. I'm like, oh, I haven't even noticed Brouwer anywhere on the ice. I'm like, what even fucking number is he wearing? I don't even know because I haven't noticed him. Okay, of course he's wearing 36. I get it, but I'm looking for him intently, and I notice him a little while later, and like skating, and that's it. He had one hit for the
You saw
game.
him skating?
I saw him skating.
I will
didn't see
tell
him
you.
skating.
He had one
I will
hit.
tell you the only time I noticed him was every stoppage in play when the Blues broadcast kept showing him. That was honestly the only time I noticed him out there. Let's see. Hotard adds to this little chat. Kostin should have been given the chance to play with 90 and 57, especially with them putting Sanford on that line. 90
Why
and
not?
57,
Why
obviously
not
being
yet?
O'Reilly and Perron.
Why not?
Let's go ahead and start the hashtag. Why not Kostin?
Free Kostin.
Free Kostin.
Free Kostin.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, and that sums it up. I mean, to not give him the opportunity to do what Blay was doing on that top line and force feeding us fucking Zach Sanford.
That's another thing too.
He's so inconsistent. The Calgary game, he was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
But Calgary wasn't playing a physical game.
I had a conversation with someone on Twitter, and they were, Kostin's not ready. He's not ready. He's got more development. He's got more minutes. And I'm like, yeah, you 4 games and 7-8 minutes a game. You're not going to see, enough of him to say he's not ready. He looked ready to me. He looked fine. He looked good. And when your alternative is Brouwer, that's the issue. Your alternative to plug into where Kostin was going to play, or Kostin sent down because you have to make room for Brouwer, and that. If you're making room for somebody who's going to create offense and you give him a shot, I can understand it. But what is doubly confusing to me is who's playing instead of Kostin. That's
Mm-hmm.
Brouwer, who is not going to create much of anything. To be honest,
Right.
I-
And I'm sure if you were to question Armstrong on this, the answer is you get, well, he hasn't played yet this year. We need to get him into game action and get him up to speed.
And I'm sure he'll be.
Well,
it was his first game.
right.
I get it. And he's going to get. I assume he would get better after 3, 4, 5, 6 games. But
Here's
I don't know.
here. I mean, not to interrupt Kurt, but
No, go ahead.
here's what I think we're all thinking. Now, listen, we all know Craig Berube, Doug Armstrong. We can sit here all day and talk about how they should be doing this, they should be doing that. They know way more about hockey than any of us ever will. But here's what the thought process I think that all of us have, and probably even a lot of analysts, that are paid by TSN and others would say too. why are you not giving Kostin Sanford minutes and then moving Sanford down to Brouwer minutes? That's what should be happening. Brouwer as a 13th forward is fine. And if you want to get him in now and get him in game shape and ready to go for the remainder of the season, sure, fine. Sit Sanford then. That's fine. But don't send down Klim Kostin, one of the guys who can provide you offense on a team that lost 2 guys that contribute big time to their offense this season. Don't make him suffer because of you wanting to play Troy Brouwer. That you're getting it the opposite way. That's not how it should be.
I'm not sure why Sanford gets the minutes that he does, and the line assignment that he does. I don't get that. I'm not. I mean, aside from he's very streaky as game to game. He can look good one game and look invisible the next. He can be very frustrating, making mistakes out there. But then he'll let go a nice ripper from when Thomas fed him that nice pass, and he blew it by, who was it?
Riddick?
Yes,
Yeah.
Riddick. That was a fantastic goal. Great shot by Sanford. Beautiful setup by Thomas. But you don't see that out of Sanford enough to warrant the time he gets.
Right.
So,
and that's the one thing that really stood out to me between the Calgary game and the Nashville games. Calgary didn't play a physical game, like I said before. It was much more of a finesse game, and Riddick was not at his best. He was good, but he wasn't at his best. And then you go into that, especially the game last night against Nashville, and I mean it was a big boy game. I mean, hits back and forth, and there was one play, I believe it was first period, where he just shied off a puck because he thought a hit was coming, and it's like, offensive zone, and you're avoiding a hit.
yeah.
You can't do that.
I think we can agree that I'm probably the Sanford apologist of this panel, and I will even say that I like Sanford more than most, but if you're sitting anybody at this point, even after the game we had against Calgary, you're sitting him so Brouwer can get his minutes in, he can get in game shape, and you're playing Kostin more. That's what should be happening, at least in our opinion.
I like Sanford.
I do too.
I like used certain ways. It's kind of like the same old story. Yeah, he's fine on the bottom 6. When you try and play him in the top 6, then you're like, what are you doing?
In a pinch, if you've got a bunch of injuries or flu bug and you throw him in the top 6, okay, but it seems like he's consistently in the top 6, and that's not how it should be.
The Blues did recall Derek Pouliot and Nathan Walker from San Antonio. Pouliot is a 25-year-old defenseman, was signed by the Blues as a free agent on July 1st, 2019. Originally drafted by the Penguins in the 2012 draft. The Saskatchewan native appeared in 20 games for the Rampage this season, leading all AHL defensemen with 18 points, 4 goals, 14 assists. He has dressed in 200 career NHL regular season games between Pittsburgh, Vancouver, collecting 48 points, 8 goals, 40 assists, and 79 PIMs. Brouwer says he's a power play guy and can move the puck. And Walker, also 25 years old, signed.
Quick correction here. Don't read what you wrote in the outline.
Originally drafted. What's the mistake?
He's not from Wales. He's
From
Australian.
Australia.
How do you not? How do you not?
Why'd you put Wales, you fool?
I didn't. That is from
Was
the
he
Blues
born
website.
in the Wales Conference?
I didn't type it up. I copied that from the Blues website.
Well, they are wrong, friend.
I'm not wrong. I'm just they're wrong. Either way.
So just to throw an old inside joke out there.
Okay.
Walker, he's Australian for queer.
Whatever.
Insensitive.
Appeared in 20 games for the Rampage this season. Third among AHL forwards. 22 points, 12 goals, 10 assists. He's dressed in 12 NHL regular season games between Washington and the Oilers, tallying 2 points, 1 goal, 1 assist. 8 PIMs. Brouwer said they'll get these guys in some games and see what they can do. So they're going to play at some point, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Walker. This is a guy that I actually have followed because anyone who listens to the Puck podcast, they've surprisingly has a very large Australian listener base. And so there's a lot of people who, when he was drafted, was, oh, Nathan Walker. So I've actually been following this guy pretty closely. So seeing him get in an NHL game will be fun. But side note, I have 2 guys on my ice hockey team who are from Australia, and they mentioned they got into hockey because of Nathan Walker. How
Really?
crazy is that? Yeah, they said that that they're from this hometown, which I'm drawing a blank on the name of, and that they moved here for work.
Is it Cardiff, Wales?
And it's not part of Wales, not part of the Wales Conference either.
Of course, the Blues didn't. They didn't have a person assign their name to this. It was a press release.
Yeah.
Nobody claims this is.
Maybe he was born in Cardiff, Wales, and grew up in Melbourne or Sydney or.
Okay. You know what? Bill, go ahead and apologize to Kurt. He is from Cardiff, UK.
Oh God!
And he moved to Australia. So he is an Australian resident, but he was born in the UK. So that means what is it? Australia, they're just prisoners from Britain, right? So his parents must have been imprisoned and sent to Australia. So that's why he's an Australian native. That's factually correct, right?
I follow your logic, but I don't believe it's factually correct. Oh no! I remember when he scored his first NHL goal. His mom was present. NBC had the. I don't know if it was because it's Comcast has the big presence there in Washington, but I remember it being plastered all over the place.
Well,
and his mom flew all the way from Australia and got to see Nathan's first goal. I'm excited to see
Crikey,
that.
what a goal!
well, 2 minutes in the box for you, and you shall feel shame.
But that I will be free.
But then you'll go free. The Blues lost back-to-backs versus Nashville the last was it Saturday and Monday. Last season, the Blues played the Predators in a back-to-back, and the Blues swept it and helped turn their season around. It was a big deal. So it may have been a catalyst. So Nashville, may have been trying to do the same thing here since they have been struggling mightily lately this season. Losers of 6 in a row coming into the game on Saturday. Bennington versus Saros. 20 seconds into the game, Arvidsson carried the puck into the Blues zone. Blues had 2 men back. Okay, lets a slap shot go, right side angle. Bennington blocker. I want to get your take on this, Bill. I don't think I've heard your take on this. And there was discussion on Twitter with this. I've had it out with some people but so is that a bad goal against Bennington, or is that a nice play by Nashville, or somewhere in between?
I think somewhere in between. So it's not Brendan Gallagher and Jake Allen. It's he got a piece of it, pass off pad kind of play, but I think it's Nashville trying to jump out early and getting a good shot off, and Forsberg really just being ready to pounce on that rebound.
I think it's a set play too.
Yeah.
That's something that teams do all the time.
Yeah.
They shoot far post, get a rebound.
Yeah.
From the far side.
Yeah.
Even in men's league, that's kind of what we say. Like, hey, if you're at the point, get a shot on goal, and we'll have 1 or 2 guys crash in the net. And it was a fortunate bounce. I mean, it was as John Madden would say, a fortuitous bounce.
I think it's. I'm not sure what else Bennington could have done. In that,
cover the puck. I don't know.
It's a blocker save. It's out.
Could he have? I don't know.
Yeah.
But Bill, could he have knocked it down in front of him on a play like that?
You put it. If anything, you put it to the corner. I just
Okay.
Well, here's the,
I think part of it
I agree.
is you're not settled. It's real fast.
I agree that, I mean, it could have gone to the corner, could have gone to the board, but I mean, he fucking put it out to the point.
Right. No,
I mean,
agree.
it wasn't, you know, I mean, it wasn't like laying in the slot where there were a couple of Predators sitting there. You know, it was, he put it way out there. I thought it was a great play by Nashville.
No,
I thought it was a
Yes,
It was.
For the
I-
record,
they-
that's exactly my thought too.
Right, and they took advantage of the Blues not being 100% mentally focused at the beginning of the game. That the back check pressure wasn't there. Forsberg was able to get off a quick shot, and that is a low percentage shot to get off. Like it was like a half cock snapshot.
we had to.
And he fucking put it perfectly.
Yeah.
I thought Bennington, if anything, I'm not going to fault him for the rebound going out there, but maybe he reacted a little bit slowly, getting back to the middle of the net.
Yeah, I could see that a little bit. I will say, I mean, again, just playing hockey, that's something that I really feel like that's the kind of bounce you see, that a guy will shovel it in the net. You know, guys start to celebrate. You say, holy shit, I can't believe they came right to my stick. I mean, that's just one of those bounces that never happens. And again, Bill's right. Part of it's the Blues were really not awake yet. Maybe that happens in the beginning of the second. That doesn't happen. The shot's not taken because there's a Blues stick there. But yeah, it's just one of those plays where the puck just it took the perfect carom for Nashville and went right to Forsberg. I mean, just an unfortunate play for the Blues, but it's going to happen throughout the season.
Nashville goes up 2-0 in the first period. Matthias Ekholm's fourth of the season. This was only a few minutes after the first goal. Puck deflected off Bouwmeester. This was a fluky goal.
Weird
Deflects
goal,
off
yeah.
Bouwmeester's leg, off Fox's leg, and basically pinballs
Right.
off of Bennington's shaft of his stick.
And I think if it doesn't hit the shaft of his stick, it hits the post and goes to the corner.
Okay.
I think that last deflection was the key deflection.
Okay.
So you're saying trade Binnington.
and I mean,
Where's Philly Husso? That's all I'm saying.
what about Husso? He's why not Husso?
We used that already.
Yeah,
Where is Husso?
Yeah, where is Husso? Where in the world is Husso?
What is Husso?
What's
What
a
is-
Husso?
Where in the world is Carmen Sandy Husso?
Husso?
So I mean, there's not much to say about this one. A fluky goal.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is.
Did you guys think that, and because I think a lot of people are trying to find reasons to hate Justin Falk at this point,
Yes.
so that's why I bring this up.
I hate Justin Falk for this goal.
Do you think that he was in a bad position there, or do you think it was just an unfortunate bounce?
His body positioning was terrible.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
He's
His
not
back
fronting.
was to the shot, wasn't
Yeah, he's not fronting the puck.
Yeah. I think we've talked about. I tweeted this. We talked about this. He's got to be better.
Yeah.
I mean, just overall. I mean, he's had some chances to. I mean, offensively, at least. You know, that's
Yeah,
why
to
we got
score a
him.
goal,
That's
right?
why we got him, is to contribute offensively, and he just has done next to nothing.
As a man
Really
who has put
expensive third
as a man
pairing
who has
defenseman.
put
Wow.
who put the puck in his own net multiple times, that's not good positioning. I mean, I said last week, I think defensively he's been fine with the exception of a couple turnovers here and there.
Yeah,
But that was a play that his body position was terrible. You got to do it. You got to have your body positioned in a way where it's not going to deflect straight into the net.
if Puck Guy 14 is still with us, I think he just commented about born in Wales. Is he a fan of the Whalers? Now he's a comedian. But no, if he's still with us, because I want to ask him that Carlson last season got off to a real slow start in San Jose, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of talk, a lot of impatientness, I think.
Buyer's remorse.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But then he kind of turned it up as the season went on, quite a bit actually. Now I'm not saying Falk is like Carlson, but I'm saying is that, you know, how long into the season before was it that Carlson kind of kicked it into gear? And if I'm mistaken about his slow start, let me know. But I'm pretty sure he had a slow start last season.
And
He did,
very
he did.
hand pass
And-
goals.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah, very hand pass goals, right?
I do think that, and
Sorry,
I think this
Eric,
is
we love you.
overlooked in the NHL. You look at people talk about the MLB when players switch from the NL to the AL, that there's an adjustment period. I think there is in the NHL too. Maybe not to as big of an extent, but I think still to this day that the West is a little more defensive than the East. I think the East is still kind of more run and gun. So I think there is still a bit of an adjustment period. But I will say at this point, I think we should start seeing his offensive game figured out and playing better and doing what we expect of him. And we're still not quite there. So we'll see. Maybe by the new year we'll see something different. But that's just my take. It doesn't look like it's hit where it should be yet.
Bob Bukowski says Falk has made me appreciate Petro more, which is kind of an interesting way to look at it. But
Is
that's
that what
true.
you appreciates about
That's
it?
what he appreciates.
Figure it out.
Figured out. And at this point in the game, then Bortuzzo does his deal with Arvidsson, gives him a cross check, which, I mean, I don't care what y'all say. Arvidsson embellished the first cross check a little bit.
He did.
He did, I think.
He's a bitch.
Yeah, he's a bitch. That's what he does. He embellishes,
Yikes.
and he went down awful easy. I mean, but anyway. So with that said, if that's a penalty, okay, fine. You see officials fall for the embellishment all the time. You get a 2-minute penalty. Okay, whatever. And then the second cross check happens when Arvidsson's trying to get up, and that storm is going to just miss us. Oh no,
Yeah,
it just missed us, grazed us, right?
There's a hook echo to the southeast of O'Fallon. If you are in Shiloh, take shelter.
Take shelter. Wow. So
Wow,
there's a tornado warning fairly nearby.
Yeah, I can hear the sirens.
Where's the who's Scuba? You're supposed to be keeping us updated on all this tornado warning stuff.
Right. You're our NWS spokesperson.
But so Bortuzzo gives him the second cross check as he's kind of on all fours going to get up. Kind of a nasty cross check to the lower back, kind of rakes down his back, which you see players do, which hurts like hell. There's not a lot of padding there. And I heard Jamie Rivers talk about this on the radio, and he got it. I think he got it. With all due respect to Jamie Rivers, I think he got it wrong. He said Bortuzzo got him on the pant, on the back of the
No,
padding on the pants.
no,
he got under the pants.
That was
He-
skin.
Yeah. He
There's
said,
no padding there.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And Rivers was said that he got him on the pants, the top part of the pants. I mean, no. The pants, he got him underneath the pants, and it was all on backbone. But the thing is that's not where he got hurt. Holy!
I'm getting up for a second. I'm gonna go grab my shoulder pads, and I want people who are watching the YouTube video to see how much protection you get from shoulder pads. So go ahead, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay. So and and he didn't get injured from his injury was not to the back. His injury is a leg injury, because his legs kind of folded underneath of him when he got hit, and so they said that his injury is not a back, it's a leg.
Yeah.
So, but still, with that said, 4-game suspension is what he got. Got a hearing, got a 4-game suspension, and we can talk about this. I don't know how your take on this, Bill. So it'll be interesting to see if we agree or disagree. He got 4 games. I thought he should have got like 6 to 8.
Yep. I'm 6 or 7
Yeah.
is what I was expecting.
Yeah.
When I heard 4, especially for a repeat offender.
For a repeat offender who is a healthy scratch once a week or so,
Yeah.
it's like
40% of the time at least.
Yeah. So I thought that he was lucky to only get 4. Some people were saying the call is the dirtiest play in the league, and it's 25 games at least. I'm like, all right, pump
As long
the
as-
brakes a little bit
Right.
on the
As
25
long as
games. Jesus
fucking
Christ.
Brad Marchand
Fuck.
is playing and being promoted as a premier player in the league, don't even come at us with that shit. That said, I fucking hated seeing Bortuzzo throw that cross check. I mean,
I did too.
It's a dirty fucking play. I hate Arvidsson, but you don't take that shot. And he totally deserved a suspension. If he got 6 or 7 games, I would be perfectly fine with that.
I just had to block.
Kurt,
a bunch-
I don't. Yeah, I was
People-
say I don't want to draw attention to it, but yeah, there's some
I
stuff
just
that needs to
yeah. Wow, that's never happened
go
before.
on in the. Yeah, I've never seen that either.
So I just blocked a bunch of people in YouTube chat. Holy shit!
Yeah,
Did we
I've never
get-
seen
it's,
that
it's
before.
spam. It's spam.
It's crazy.
Russian
But okay,
bots?
so I'm back.
Maybe.
I'm back with
Did
my
we
shoulder
talk about
pads.
Trump?
No,
Yeah.
no politics.
All right, so I am back with my shoulder pads for people watching on the show. So you can see the front here. This is how big it goes. So this basically goes for me. I'm going to try to back up a little bit here. This goes for me about to my stomach, a little bit, maybe midway, midriff kind of thing. If you go on the back here, you've got a spine protector right here. And for those of you podcasting, go ahead and join in the YouTube show. Mark the tape here and take a look. So if you don't play hockey and you don't know what a chest protector, shoulder protection does, so you got your spine protection here, and outside here there's some layer of coverage here, but for the most part, the small of your back is about right here, and you're not getting any protection there, nothing. And this is for NHL players too. This isn't just for men's league guys or junior players. So the fact that, my God, these people are still coming on YouTube. That's crazy. But
what are
but
they
let me
doing?
let me continue with my demonstration here. Anyway, yeah. So it's just you don't get a lot of protection. You don't get any protection there at all, and because you're not expecting to get hit there, your back is probably turned to the play. If you're going to get hit there, and that just doesn't happen often. So I don't think Bortuzzo did that intentionally to hurt Arvidsson, but you can tell the way that he reacted and looked at the ref and yelled, and just the wah kind of motion we saw from him when that happened. It's not a good look, and
does it a
it's
lot.
something that absolutely needs to get suspended. I'm with you guys. Should have been much longer than 5 or 4 games. I think 8 to 10, especially since he's a repeat offender, would have been suffice. If they would have said 15, I would have probably not had a problem with it.
Bill
That
and
just
Bill
doesn't
and I-
belong in today's game.
Yeah, Bill and I were like 6 to 8, so I would have been fine with if it was 8. I've been cool with that. Somebody, I think it was a Bruins fan, was commenting about how couldn't believe how dirty it was and wanted 25 games. I was like, 25 games? Oof, geez, that's a lot for. But yeah, I mean that's. But yeah, no, I agree with you. It is no place for that kind of crap, and he's done it a lot. And this specific thing, he gets pissed off a lot when he feels that somebody embellished on a hit that he dished out, and he will take it. And he'll give him an extra shot, and this time it burned him.
Well, maybe he could do us a favor and do that to Sanford and get him out of the lineup. But,
Iverson's out for 6 to 8 weeks
yeah,
with it's a leg injury. It's not his back.
right.
So,
And for Wyshynski raised this on Twitter yesterday or today, that all the eye for an eye people that players should be out as long as the injury.
can't do that.
Reminder that Joe Thornton would have missed 97 games because of the Perron hit.
Yeah, I mean you can't. I understand the knee-jerk reaction of that mindset, but that's not feasible. You can't. Yeah, that's not a. I don't know. And then Klim Kostin scores his first career goal. Simple enough play, wrist shot, kind of ticks off of the defenseman's stick as he's shooting. Might have changed speeds a little bit and fooled Saros a little bit. Beat him under the glove, far side.
Screenshot.
A little of the screen, yeah. Maybe a goal he would like to have back, but whatever.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful shot.
Hey,
at that.
shots
No,
on
yeah.
net. You gotta love it.
shots on net,
Yeah.
pucks on net.
And Saros, how many times did they talk about it during the broadcast? Saros is one of the smaller goalies in the league these days.
He played big against us.
Well, yeah. He was sharp.
He was good. And then Sissons gets his 6th of the season in the first period. This is all in the first period still. Olivier beats Preco wide, which you don't see many people do. Beating Preco wide. Crash the net. Sissons is there to poke the rebound through Bennington's 5-hole as Bouwmeester couldn't tie him up soon enough. I'd have liked to have seen Bennington keep his pad on the ice here. Seemed to be hovered off the ice a little bit, but that's a tough. It would have been a nice save because he makes the first save. Would have been a nice save and tight on the rebound had he had his pad down, but didn't happen. So it's 3-1 Nashville going into the second. No goals in the second, and then Schwartz gets the Blues within 1. Make it 3-2 with about 6 minutes to go or something like that, and then they pulled Bennington with 3 minutes to go. So initially, they pulled Bennington with 3 minutes to go. That was the 3-2 goal, which Pietrangelo shot. Thought it was his goal, his 100th of his career, but no, Schwartz tipped it, so they gave it to him.
Fucking Schwartz.
Fucking Schwartz. Figured it out. And then the Predators get the anti-net goal after that when they pulled Bennington again. 4-2 final score.
Yarncroke on the empty net, or was it?
Yes, Yarncroke. 8th goal of the season for him. So, I mean, really good game by Bennington. Stopped 39-42.
My God, the breakaways, unreal.
He stopped like 3 or 4, didn't
Yeah.
he? Oh my God. I mean, and the one breakaway, he had 2 saves in a row. It was a save, and then he saved the rebound. God, he played really good. You can't ask a guy to play much better than that. I mean, he had you in the game.
We'll get to the next game, but unfortunately to say this, I think the best player on the ice for both teams was the Blues goalie in these 2 games, yet they come out with 1 point.
Yeah, I agree. I'll buy that.
Yep. With as well as the team has played at this point, it doesn't look like it's going to be a very impactful, back-to-back series of games. But end of the season, man, if you look back and you say, man, we only got 1 point against the Predators in that series.
Yeah, I know.
Yikes.
I mean, we're still top of the division, so it's fine for now. But I mean, and to be honest, it's for a while there we were playing not a full 60-minute game, and we were getting points in overtime, winning in overtime, stuff like that. So the pendulum swung a little bit back the other way in these 2 games. You don't play your best, you don't get the points. So the game last night, Allen versus Saros, again, like Ponder said, fantastic game by Allen. Played really well. Brouwer was in the lineup, and we talked about that, how he had some visa issues that were straightened out finally, which, again, that's on his agent, maybe? Who's that on? For his visa
I think
issues.
it's on the U.S. government. I've heard of that happening a lot.
It took a long
where,
time.
like, U.S. to Canada isn't a problem, but Canada to U.S. is a huge problem.
I mean, it's not like he's coming from Mexico. He's coming from Canada.
It's true.
They're
No
white
wall
people.
there.
Politics.
Stop
Politics.
talking.
Stop
It's not
it.
politics.
Stop it.
It's not politics. It's white people versus brown people.
This is white people versus white people.
Anyway, Nashville scored the first 2 goals of this game. So at the time, the first goal against the Blues had the better of the play. I thought first 8 minutes or so, outshooting Nashville 6-1, and then they scored on a good play. Bonino. Pucks on left wing, Sundqvist. I thought if you're going to blame somebody on this, I think you blame Sundqvist a little bit.
Totally.
Pursuing too deep.
Totally. Yeah. And you saw Petro waving. Other guy.
Yeah.
Other guy.
Yeah, because Sundqvist follows was it Smith into the zone too deep and by about 10 feet or so.
Yeah.
And that leaves Bonino wide open, who just, I mean, the puck gets over to him and he lets a nice shot go that beat the Allen high blocker.
I had someone tell me that Allen was too deep in his crease in that goal, and I watched it. I watched it again, and I thought, he plays deep. His skates weren't on the goal line or anything. I think that was just a fucking beautiful shot from Bonino. I thought that was great, and a lot of goalies are going to struggle to make that save because it was just he put it right in the perfect spot.
Right. Now, this isn't the typical Bill's going to bitch about Jake Allen because he's too deep goal. It was a hell of a shot.
Yeah.
I thought
Good.
Allen's positioning was pretty solid here. Yeah. If he's, and it goes back to Kurt's point about Sundqvist being 10 feet too deep. The back pressure is that deep, is pushing that hard. The goalie is going to back up a little bit. In this case, Allen, to his credit, wasn't on the goal line. It was just a hell of a shot.
Johansson scores his fourth of the season to put the Preds up 2-0. Still in the first period. I don't know if the Blues seemed to think the puck was leaving the zone on this play, but 4 Blues players started up the ice, but the puck came back toward the net. I don't know why this happened, but I watched the replay. All 4 Blues players kind of just started skating up the ice, not leaving the zone, but they're headed towards the blue line. And no Blues player had the puck. I mean, it was kind of a loose puck, and they thought they might get it, I guess, and try and do a break or a rush. But it went. The puck came right back down deep, and all of a sudden, Johansson had cut back towards the goal and gets the puck and behind the Blues forwards, and he's all alone in the soft spot to clean up the
just another breakdown.
Flip it backhand. Because the puck came to Allen, and he made the save, and then Johansson's there to take out the trash.
So Daniel Snipe Selly for the goal.
Yeah. I mean, this goal was rather. I mean, you're off to a good start in the game, pressure wise, shot wise, because they scored on their second shot of the game, and now you're down 2-0, and it's like fuck. You wanted to win this game, and now you're behind the 8 ball early.
Yeah, but they didn't let it get away from them.
No. I mean, Perron scores in the second from O'Reilly to make it 2-1. I loved this goal. Perron's goal was amazing, and
great follow up, and it's I don't know on this play though. Every time I watch the replay, all I can Saros is like Yaroslav Falak, right? He's just that a little bit too small. If he's a little bit bigger, he probably makes that save on the rebound shot. But
that was a laser.
God,
he got all of it.
It was a beauty.
Upper glove. It's a beauty shot. And then Schenn in the third period ties the game up. Just under 7 minutes to go in the third period. Thomas feeds Schenn again. Beautiful setup.
Right. And similar to Johansson's goal, where the Predators thought they got the puck out, and a great keep by Parayko, and what vision by Thomas to beat Ekholm back to the middle. And Schenn, you could just see the thought process in every one of the Blues players, and Schenn just saw that opening 5-hole and buried it.
That 5-hole was gaping too.
Yeah, it was. It's funny because
it's hard to miss.
When he put that 5-hole, I thought, man, I can't believe he beat him 5-hole there. And then I saw the replay, and I'm like, oh my God, I think anyone with an intelligence would put that in the 5-hole. Good Lord.
Yeah, Schwartz was at the far post, but I mean, if there's any situational awareness by Saros, is like, well, if they pass it to Schwartz, he's gonna miss. but man, he opened up like, well, I better not go there.
Like a horror knuckle night or whatever.
Yeah.
And late in the game, this was like a minute or a few minutes left in the game. Bozak got okay. Here, at first glance, it looked like Saros robs Bozak and the shot playing tight. Yeah. But then on the replay, you see that when he's all alone, he actually knocks his own shot. Bozak flips a backhander, and on his follow through, when a stick comes back around, knocks the puck away from the goal. Saros had thrown his stick, dropped his stick, as he's flying across the crease to lunge, and the puck then hits his stick and goes wide. The puck was probably going wide anyway, But when I saw the stick drop, being a forward, I always think that as soon as the goalie is like throws his or dives and loses his stick, and I'm like, penalty, throw the stick, and especially if the puck hits the stick, then I'm like, I'm livid. I'm like, oh, you can't throw your stick. I guess technically they could have called a penalty for. It wasn't really throwing the stick, was it?
Right.
I mean,
I thought it was. I thought it was.
but
a
then the
good
puck hit it though
non-call.
too.
Right.
I know. And they're
He
never going
wasn't
to call
throwing
it.
It was.
They're never
it was
gonna
a
call
loss
it.
of
He
control.
dropped it. I don't
I think he
that's
dropped it
a
on
wrong
purpose.
stick.
He didn't
I don't
drop
know
it.
if he did.
I think he did. It's one of those deals where you're lunging and your stick's in the way. You drop it and lunge with the blocker. I think that's one of those
I don't
plays.
know.
But
Kurt, what do you think? Or Bill, what do you think?
I disagree.
You
I would
think
Bill.
you think he lost it?
I think he lost control of it.
I think you're both wrong.
It's
I agree.
much easier, especially
Nope.
going from left to right like he was. If you are going to throw the stick, it is going to.
I'm not saying he threw it. I'm saying he dropped it on purpose to get his arm out to lunge at the puck.
Well,
that's what I was saying.
That may be the case. He did not throw the stick at the
Right.
puck.
No. Right. Exactly.
Right.
I'm not saying that. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Because if he tries to throw the stick coming across, just the physics of that play coming across your body, you try to throw that, it is going to fly because you've got all the momentum behind you. But
right.
if you just release it, maybe you're right.
Maybe
Maybe it was the Dominic Hasek. He's going to try to play it with his bare hand.
maybe.
regardless of that, my favorite part of this, you guys didn't happen to watch the. For those who don't know, the NHL on YouTube, and I think even on their own channel and NHL.com, they put out the condensed games. Did you guys happen to watch that at all?
It's like 5 minutes long. Oh no, I'm sorry. I watched the 5-minute highlight of this game.
Okay, so did you get the one with the Predators feed?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so my favorite part about that was with the Predators feed. You could tell, what they do is they show the save in real time, then they show the replay. The replay they showed was like their sponsor's big save of the game. It was
Right.
like the Commerce Bank big save of the game or whatever.
And it wasn't
they
a
show
save.
the replay, and the announcer is like, "Oh my gosh, what a save by Saros!" And you see here, and then they show the replay in slow mo, and you see Bozak hit it with a stick. The stick kind of barely glance off, or the puck kind of barely glance off Saros' stick and go wide. The announcer goes, "What a save by Saros!" And here you see Bozak kind of hit the puck the second time and just glances off the stick, and it's like in mid, like you hear the wheels turning of, "Oh
Right.
shit, that wasn't really a save."
Can we get an editor who knows a fucking thing about hockey up
I
in
know.
here?
Yeah, was not a save. He did not make the save.
It was. Let's just say what it is. It's the Kevin Hayes stopping his own goal during Game 3 last year,
More or less,
I'm
right.
Sorry, Game 2 last year, right? It's that karma coming back around to us.
The game goes into overtime and then a shootout, and 2 of the 3 Blues shooters mishandle the puck and never get a shot on net. This is fucking embarrassing.
It was like I wanted so badly to say, "Oh, what a conspiracy!" You know, they didn't scrape the ice well enough when the Blues were shooting, but fuck, it was fucking embarrassing.
Terrible.
I mean, the puck
Terrible.
rolled off both Shen and Thomas's stick.
Yeah, and then
but kudos to Berube for shaking it up and
Yes.
and putting Perron out there instead of Bozak.
Yep.
and
I'm all for them just putting different shooters out every single time.
Me too.
How often do you see shootouts now? Just roll okay, last time we had these 3 guys, let's throw 3 other guys out there. Something that the other
Put
team
Falk.
has not seen.
put Falk out there.
Yeah, let him break that confidence. There you go.
That's what I said the other day.
I was so disappointed about Brouwer not shooting.
And 2 of the 3 Predators shooters scored. So, and that was it.
Well, in Jake Allen played a hell of a game.
He played a great game.
I thought he was very, very good. But once we got to the shootout and we missed on our second and third shots, I knew we were going to lose.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Allen has a history of not being good on breakaways and stuff. Shootouts.
Yeah.
So
He's not good mano y mano.
no, not really. But so it is what it is. But today on social media, the Blues posted this, which because Allen has started most of the games he started since Brouwer took over had been on the road. So Jake Allen has started 24 games on the road since Brouwer took over. He's 12-6-6 with a 2.3 GAA, which is fifth in the NHL among goalies with 5 or more starts in that time. And he has a 9.23 save percentage, which is seventh, and 3 shutouts, which is fourth.
My God, that's fantastic. There's no way to refute that, right?
That's
Greatest
very
goalie in Blues history.
very
right there.
good, very good road numbers. And you look at that, you're like, wow.
They're clearly
He's-
not covering anything by saying that, right?
He's played very well on the road. But then
Hey, Kurt, how's he done at home?
how's it at home?
I didn't even think about that.
Well, let me tell you. I looked it up because I saw that stat and I'm like, well, road numbers are great, but his overall numbers aren't anywhere close to that, so his home numbers must be awful. So I looked them up just to see. And his home numbers, same requirements, 5 or more games played since Brouwer took over as head coach. The 69 goalies in the NHL have made more than 5 starts at home since Brouwer took over, okay, in the NHL. Jake Allen has started 13 home games. He is 5-7-1 with a 3.44 GAA, which is 65th best out of 69 goalies, and an 8.76 save percentage, which is dead last. He is dead last since Brouwer took over last season, November, whatever it was, 16th or whatever, until now of goalies in home starts. He is dead last in save percentage with 8.76 and no shutouts. So,
real
there's
quick,
that.
another stat that I saw somebody else post, that it's been, 57 games
since he's won 3 in
starts
a
since he's won 3 in a row.
yeah.
That's a lot for a team that's really good.
Yes, I agree. And when you start all your games on the road too, his numbers are that I don't understand. So the drastic difference here, why? How can you be so bad at home? At home, I can see being really bad on the road. I can understand that. I can wrap my mind around that. But to be so bad at home, and then to be so good on the road, it's that just is a between the ears thing.
It totally is.
There's no other. I mean,
God, go back to the first game of last season when he got Bronx cheered in that drubbing by the Jets. I mean, God, I still remember what I tweeted. Stop it, you fucking cretins. Because all you're going to do is erode his confidence. And he just I was at the game against Canadians where he gives up the goal 5 seconds into the period against Gallagher. 6 seconds, whatever it was. Just it is a total mental thing for Jake Allen to play in front of the Enterprise Center fans.
I have a scenario for you guys. What happens if Bennington gets hurt and then Allen's asked to start 5 or 6 games at home out of like 10, 12 games that Bennington's out?
The hashtag where is Huso tweet.
What do you do? Do you? I mean, I guess you try and start him at home. What if he's putting up the same numbers? Then what do you do? What do you do? I mean,
you gotta whoever the other goalie is, whether it's Huso or somebody you brought in, they're gonna have to start starting at home.
and therein lies the problem.
Well,
This is the problem with Jake Allen in a nutshell. That scenario, because coming into the season, how many people did we hear say, even legit sports writers say, "Oh well, Allen might be making a lot of money, but he's a really good insurance policy for Bennington." I'm like, no.
Only if you play him on the road.
Only if we go on an 8-game road trip, yeah, then he is. If Bennington gets hurt, but not if we're playing home
when
games.
the NCAA wrestling tournament comes to town in March, like it always does, that's when you want him, right?
That's right.
It's like the Rangers circus trip.
I gotta say too that like this kind of thing, when teams would post, oh, our goalie has posted in the last 25 road games, blah, 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 blah. When you posted this in the 90s, in the 80s, it was, oh, man, that guy's great. But why post that stuff now? You know that people have at their fingertips access to say, well, wait a minute, if he's that good at home or at away, his numbers aren't great, so what's his numbers at home? Kurt, I bet you looked up those stats. It took you about 3 minutes.
No,
like
it's no time at all.
Why post that? Just leave it alone. You don't have to post that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's fine, I guess, but I don't. It's almost like, oh, is his last so and so starts on the road? Like, yeah, you threw the caveat in there on the road. Why'd you do that? That's why. So, I mean, I'm not trying to downplay Allen's performance lately. He's been good the last handful of starts. He's been good on the road. That's better than being bad on the road and bad at home. Okay. But still, sooner or later, your backup's going to have to play some home games, whether Bennington gets hurt or he starts to struggle or whatever. I mean, it goes through a slump. I don't know.
But that's the good news. Bennington hasn't struggled.
No, that's true.
The game against Nashville, not his best start, but before that, man, he was in his zone.
Yeah.
Even in the game against Nashville, how many big saves did he make for the Blues?
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting when I looked up the home numbers.
Fair and balanced.
Yeah, fair and balanced, right? You post the road, you got to post the away, post the home, and as good as the road stats are, the home stats are the polar opposite, which I'm not even sure. Hey, Bill's got my cat on camera there.
Yeah. Yeah, just like show this to my dogs. It'll be like that one picture on Facebook of me in a Red Wings jersey.
What's the cat's name
that's
there,
right.
buddy?
Sparky.
Yeah.
Sparky. Hey, Sparky.
The girl cat with a boy name, kind of.
Yeah, and wearing a bow tie.
Right.
I hear Sparky, and I always think of Nashville Lampoon's Vacation.
Yeah, me too. I always think, what do you call a dog with no hind legs? Sparky. That's fun.
Terrible.
I'm sorry. A dog with steel balls and no hind legs. Sparky.
Yes.
Had that wrong. Next up for the Blues, Wednesday night in Tampa Bay. That's tomorrow. Since the Blues beat Tampa Bay last week 3-1 in Tampa Bay, the Lightning have gone 3-0, beating Chicago, Anaheim, and Buffalo. That's not much of a gauntlet.
Right, that's
whoop-de-doo.
3 AHL games.
But wait a minute, Buffalo got off to a great start. What are you talking about?
They're 10-ply now.
Oh, okay.
Super soft.
Super soft. And the Blues, the Tampa Bay is 7-3 in the last 10. The Blues are 14-5-6 for 34 points and are first place in the Central still after Dallas lost tonight to Chicago. The Blues have dropped to 5-2-3 in the last 10 after losing twice to Nashville. But even though Dallas lost tonight, they had won 7 in a row and they figured things out apparently. So only 2 points
came up
behind.
quick.
Yeah, only 2 points behind St. Louis and the Central. So yeah, they're on the heels.
Right. It's a big game tomorrow night, and the Blues will be lucky, I believe, at this point to get a point out of that game.
Well, it's all about the offense. I mean, you figure the goaltending's going to be there.
Yeah.
And can you score?
You're going up against Vasilevsky.
Who we put 3 up on last time.
We did.
I mean, if we score 3
now
again,
he's got something to prove.
Yeah. I mean, if we score 3 again, we should get a point, at least a point.
I'm calling it Troy Brouwer with the 4-goal game.
I'm gonna say Brouwer gets hurt. I'm gonna say he gets hurt.
That is probably way more likely.
I'll tell you what, Potter. If Brouwer puts up 4 goals in the game tomorrow, you come out Friday and join us at Global Brew, and I will buy all of your Bourbon County for you.
Wow.
All right.
That's gonna
Will
be
you
like
just
12 or
buy
14 a
Bourbon
glass.
County for me? Just buy me the brewery if that happens. How about that?
It might be cheaper.
Goodbye, Goose Island.
Yeah.
Global Brew in Edwardsville, or I guess all of them. They have the Bourbon County release on Friday, Black Friday.
Yeah.
So that's where we'll be.
So the key question for all of us beer nerds is anybody going to get up at before 6 a.m. to go get the variants?
You will. You always do.
I don't know.
What are the variants this year? You know.
So the wheat wine,
Eh.
which it's like barley wine but wheat. I don't know. Wheat.
Cool wheat.
The one that
Cool wheat.
I'm interested in going for is Cafe Olla.
Oh, the coffee one.
Yeah, the coffee, the milk, coffee milk one. That sounds good to me. But I don't think we're gonna get into the reserve stuff down this part of.
You're going to try
state.
their oyster casserole ale.
Oh boy,
No.
that's Joe's soda, right?
No, Schlafly does an oyster stout, and they do the oyster fest every year, but
Okay.
not my thing.
No.
Not my thing.
Yeah.
Shellfish,
Sounds
not my
terrible.
thing.
Yeah. You Black Friday in there, Jeff?
Yeah, we do a little bit. Not we don't go crazy, but
Oh, of course not.
yeah,
Crazy.
the wife and I, we got back in the day. We used to get up at like 5 a.m. and go do that, but now we don't. We just we kind of get up and normal time, and we'll hit the malls or whatever and get a lot of our shopping done. It's not as bad because everybody goes on Thanksgiving now, so not too bad. How about you guys?
I shop online. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
Black Friday.
So I may go to one of the local grocers to get the Black Friday Goose Island variants. The only other thing I want to do, hit a couple of record stores. Record Store Day is now doing Black Friday releases, and there's one particular thing I'm looking for this year. I'll go to probably Trusty Chords and Slackers if need be.
Where's your favorite
But-
record store in 1997?
Excuse me.
You jumping in
favorite-
your DeLorean there?
Yeah, no. Favorite
Vintage
record
vinyl.
store. Well, no, actually, it's Euclid Records in Webster.
Okay.
It's
that's a good
where,
spot. I've been
that's
there,
where
too.
all the hipsters go to Euclid
Yeah.
Records. But no,
bad.
there's Trusty Chords in Edwardsville and Slackers. Can usually find the good releases on Record Store Day.
If Trusty Chords or Slackers would like to sponsor Let's Go Blues Radio, email us at radio@letsgoblues.com.
Well, we happen to know. Well, we used to know somebody who is affiliated with Slackers. I don't think he's there anymore.
No, he's not. He's not. He may have contacts, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
I think that'll do it for this episode of Let's Go Blues Radio.
Can I add one more thing,
Nope.
please?
What?
It's about the Ponder Tournament.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I meant
That's
to
okay.
I meant that earlier.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to thank. We had a couple listeners that actually played in the tournament. One of them being Frank Hart, the goaltender, said very nice things about you two, which I made sure to correct him and tell him how wrong he was about you two.
Okay.
But no, he's a great guy, goalie. Played really well. Fortunately, we were able to beat him in the playoffs, but not because of him. It was because of a one Kevin Ragsdale taking 3 penalties in the second period that led to us scoring a couple power play goals.
That's a shame.
So,
That's a shame.
we
Sorry, but were any of those felonies?
Yeah. Were the cops called at all or anything?
it was pretty bad. It was pretty
Okay.
bad. We had to remind everyone there was a charity tournament at that point. Yeah, so
That's a shame.
Team Ponder took second place, unfortunately. Lost to Team Wolf, which I am tired of saying that every year, but
Yeah.
congratulations to them. We did raise a record number. We don't have the exact numbers yet. I will release those on Facebook and Twitter, hopefully by the end of the week, but we did raise a record number of donations. So thank you to everyone who participated. All that money will be going to bethematch.org, which is a very good organization for those of you who want to do a little research on it, bethematch.org. And again, thank you to everyone. We had a couple people who actually came out to listen to the show and told me how much they love the show. And again, one of them was Frank, a player. So again, we'll see you all next year. And thank you again, Kurt and Bill. Hope to see you guys out there next year. I know you stiffed me this time because you're assholes.
No,
but I know. Life happens.
Kids weekend, and you get busy, and yeah.
It's a long drive for you guys. I get it.
It was a long drive, and honestly, it was on the agenda, and I wanted to make it out there. It just didn't happen. So.
Yeah, and I was drained by 6.5 hours of work on a Saturday, which
that sucks.
Should never.
I don't blame you.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So.
Now, and I do want to give we got a ridiculous rate from Midwest Sport Hockey, the roller hockey rink that it was held. So I want to give them a quick plug as well. If you are a roller hockey player, if you're interested in watching a roller derby, which they do every now and then on a Saturday night, that is a great place to go. Can't say enough how great the management is. If you haven't been there in a while, they've got new lighting, so there's no puck shadows anymore at all. And they painted on the red line even better, so you can see that better. And again, just a fantastic rink. And I want to thank Adam, the manager there, for all of the work he did to get us a fantastic rate. And again, that helped us raise even more money than usual. So again, thank you to Midwest Sport Hockey.
Very good. That'll wrap up this week's episode, number 41 of Season 8 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube chat during the live show. Very active this show. Even thank you to the spammers who decided to have a field day there for a while. That was ridiculous. And that was a first for us. So I guess we've made it. We have spammers now. So that you've made it. We hope everyone had fun. So for Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Kurt Price. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues.
No yams on Thanksgiving. Let's go Blues.
Happy Thanksgiving all, and let's go Blues.